Okay, folks, let's go to the assignment and let's try to do this thing together. So we're in lesson 5, and we're going to do the Excel weekly time tracking assignment. Again, remember the template for this is page 54, figure 3.2 in your textbook, and that's the 3rd edition. So the practice of Excel is one of the main reasons we are doing this, besides the fact of that we want to try to help you see how you naturally spend your time. And then after the week is over, 5 days, 7 days, however many days that you really get in, at a minimum of 5, you can look back and see how your time management patterns are shaping up, if there's anything you want to change. So I want us to look, before I leave this, at the instructions. We're going to open Excel, and then in cell A1, again, remember the letter is the column, 1 is the row. We're going to type in class schedule. I decided earlier in the previous video we should have changed this to the weekly timetable assignment, and I'll do that during the exercise, so I'll try to mark this before you guys get your hands on it. Then we're going to select all of column A by clicking on the A box at the top of the screen, and we'll just work our way through until we get to the bottom. Now, I might toggle back and forth because I don't have these memorized, so be patient with me, and I'll try to still keep this under 10 minutes as far as the video goes. So I'm going to open the Excel spreadsheet to let you see what the student that gave us permission to share her work, how hers looked in the end. So she kept up Monday, Tuesday through Friday, and this is part 1, where you keep up with everything that you do and how long it takes to do what you do on an hourly basis. For it, the assignment says 7 days. She did it for 5. I think that's enough time to get a sense for what you're really up to and how you spend your time. Part 2 is that you categorize your activities, and then you give an hour breakdown for how much you spend in each one. Now, you can see that she has spent in 5 days 104.6 hours. So sounds like she was copious in keeping up with her time, and she's marked it in some of the blocks where she's got 30 minutes here, an hour here, 2 hours here of dedicated study. She doesn't say dedicated study of what, but we're just going to trust that that was dedicated study towards some sort of school. Part 3 is the analysis of her time. She says this week was very chaotic. I spent most of my time homeschooling my son and cooking and eating, which is okay, but I realized that I need to better organize my day to schedule so I won't have to cram all my classwork from all 3 classes into 1 or 2 hours. I need to buy an organizer. That's a good aha moment to help correct my sporadic daily schedule. And I also should, she's shoulding on herself, but it sounds like something she's longing to do. I should also spend more time with my family, and you can see a smiley face when, or an unhappy face when she realizes that in the week she didn't spend what she wanted to with her family. So the hope is when you go through the analysis of your week, you'll find, as I said in the earlier tape, the good things that you're naturally doing, the things that you want to change. One of the best lessons I ever learned was the difference between being consciously competent and unconsciously competent. In other words, you don't know that you know, and you want to move that to knowing that you know. So this exercise can help you identify what your patterns are when, and you just don't walk around in a haze. All right, so let's do this activity. And we're just going to go to sheet 1. Remember that a workbook in Excel is a collection of multiple sheets. A single sheet or single page, if you will, is called a worksheet. So multiple sheets is an Excel workbook. 1 is a worksheet. The very first thing that we are supposed to do in this assignment is to write in cell A1. Whoops, I did a boo-boo. Let me go back to that. Right in cell A1. So you see A1. We're going to write in class schedule. So we'll do that, except I decided I didn't want to do that. I want to do weekly time table. Now, Does anybody remember what the second step is that we're supposed to do? Let's look at that second step. And then we're supposed to select all of column A by clicking on the gray A box at the top of the worksheet. So let's do that. And then go to the format cells, and then under the number tab, we're going to click on time and then the type of format we want our time to show up in. So we're going to click A, and I'm going into format cells here. Now, if you'll look at the top of the screen, you'll also see another box that says formatting screens. And let me see if I can show it. See where it says cells here? So this whole category, format, delete, and insert, is about formatting cells. And you're going to see the type of options here as you would if I come to this column at the top and right click on my mouse and I get format cells. So I'm going to hit format cells, and then I'm going to click number. Do you remember that? And then we were supposed to click time. So here's time right here. And then we're supposed to do 1:30. And this is not saying 1:30 as in it's 1:30 a time. It's detecting or selecting a pattern that you want your numbers to show up in. So it's going to have a number, the colon, the minutes, and then whether it's AM or PM. So we're going to select that, and we're going to go down to the bottom, and we're going to hit OK. So now that I've done that, let's see what our next steps are in this assignment. It says that begin your table by creating time intervals in column A. Now, the person who wrote this wasn't me. The person who wrote it said, I usually use 15-minute intervals. I'm fine if you use hour intervals. You can decide 1-hour intervals. But it says, regardless, that we're supposed to type in at least 3 different times, beginning with cell A3. So let's go to cell A3. Let me make sure that you're still seeing what we're doing. So I'm just going to do a quick sanity check here. Good, you are. So we're going to go to cell A3, and let's do, now remember, we've already programmed column A to have a certain pattern. It's going to have the hour, it's going to have a colon, the 2 places for minutes and seconds, and it's going to have either PM or AM. So I'm going to start my day. My day usually starts around 7 o'clock. That's when I get up to feed the dogs. And so I'm going to say 7 a.m. Then I'm going to say, I probably will do 30 minutes. So let's say 7:30 a.m. and then 8 o'clock. Because remember it said I needed to select 3 numbers. So that's my 3. Now, what will I do next? So let's look and see what it tells me to do next. The next thing I have to do is, once you have entered 3 times, you let the computer do the rest of the work. So you select the 3 times and move your arrow to the small box. I heard one of my students, Virginia, say it would be called the handle. So it's going to be to the small box in the lower right-hand corner of the cell. You're going to click and drag until you've reached the end of your day. So let's see if we can make that happen. It sounded to me like you select all 3 of these, and then you see this little box here, right there, and it turns into a thin cross, 2 black lines. You see the difference? That's a big, thicker white cross, but when you go on this handle, as Virginia called it, it turns into a thin black cross, thinner lines, and we're going to grab that with our left mouse, and we're going to just pull down with it. And if you notice on the right-hand side of column A, so it's showing kind of ghosting in column B, you can see the numbers, the time changing. Now, my day, to be quite honest, usually goes to about 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's just not nice. So I'm not going to admit that. I'm going to go up to, say, 11:30, and well, we'll leave it right there. So watch what happens. Isn't that great? So it filled in everything all by itself because we grabbed the handle and made that happen. Now we've done that part. Let's go back to lesson 5. And it says that we should go now to B2. Remember that B, the letter, is the column, 2 is the row. And we're supposed to type in Monday. So we're going to go back to the spreadsheet. And I'm going to go to B2, which is right here. And I'm going to type in Monday. Now we have that same box, the handle, Virginia's handle, right there in the corner. And we're going to grab it and we're going to take it out until we get the number of days of the week, either 5 days or we're going to go to 7 days. So let's go there. We're going to release it. And there you have it. Monday through Sunday, we let the computer do the work. Now, right off the bat, I want you to notice that Wednesday is cut off here. D-A-Y, the A-Y's gone. But don't worry about that right now. There are other things that we're going to do to fix that. Okay, we're supposed to center our title by selecting A1 through F1 and then click on Merge and Center. So remember our title was the weekly timetable assignment. So we're going to go to A1. We're going to select A1. So if we go to the columns, like I was about to do, that selects all the columns, but that's not what our assignment says. I'm going to get back out of that. And I'm just going to take A1 and I'm going to go to F1, but really I'm going to go to H1 because I chose 7 days, not 5. If I had chosen to F1, it would be just 5 days. So let's go there. And then it says to click Merge and Center. So see up in this upper ribbon, it says Merge and Center. It's all in the alignment group. Each one of these identifies a group. So I'm going to click Merge and Center, and I'm going to just click Merge and Center right here. So now I have that centered. What are the next instructions? The next instructions are that I can create the lines on my schedule, select all the cells I want to divide with borders. So let's go to the weekly timetable and let's select everything that we want to be bordered. So I don't think I want to have the times bordered. So I'm just going to select everything that is underneath Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday down to 11:30. And then I'm going to go up to the border what icon. Remember, it's in the fonts family. F-O-N-T, the font family. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to say all borders because I want borders everywhere. So I'm going to just click all borders and there I have it. So I've got my borders in. Now, if I want to do fancy things with borders, I can certainly do that. I can go down and change the colors of these borders. And there's all sorts of things I can do. So I don't know if you can see that I could go in and change it, making all sorts of little wiggles and stuff. But I really don't want to play with that right now. So I'm going to just make that automatic, take that back. There we go. And also, I just want to point out there's line style. I can make it with dots. I can make it wiggle. There's more borders down at the bottom. There's all sorts of things that you could do with borders. So just keep that in mind with formatting cells and borders. But I've done that job that they asked me to do on that line. Now it says that I need to select columns B through F by clicking and dragging on the gray boxes above the chart, which means the boxes that have the letters in them, letters B, E, B, C, D, E, F. And remember, I'm going out for G and H because I went to Saturday and Sunday. And so I'm going to go to Format, Column Width, and I'm going to click 15 and then hit OK. So let's go to that portion. I'm supposed to select B all the way through H, and then I'm going to let that go, right-click, hit Format Cells, and then I'm supposed to do what? No, I'm not supposed to be in this one, am I? I'm supposed to do column width. So let me do that right click again, and you'll notice underneath Format Cells, there's column width. So I'm going to select column width, and I'm going to select 15. And then I'm going to hit OK and watch. Things expand to 15. And you remember a little while ago I said don't worry about the A and Y that was blocked off on the word Wednesday. We would fix that, and we have done it. Now, if I want to make these days of the week centered, I can go into Format Cells again. I can go into Alignment, and I can do Center for the horizontal, and I can also do center if I want to let it float above the line, or I can leave it at the bottom, and we'll do that. And so here's how that will turn out. All right, so let's see what we have left here. It says now you can enter your class schedule. It says to select, and that will be up to you, but it also says to select 2 cells that you want to combine into one class and click on the merge and center button, and then do that for all of your classes. So because I'm in grad school, I'm going to go ahead and click the time that I might be in school, which is basically all day on Sunday. So let's say that after I am available on Sunday afternoon by about 12:30, then I'm going to click here, 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 and I probably will work until 5 o'clock. And then it says to merge cells so that I can put in what my class is. So I'm going to merge those cells, which will take out the lines. Then I'm going to come in, and when I'm going to type in here, I'm going to put in cyber security class. Oh, look what happened. Now, because that happened, I want to show you something. I kind of did it on purpose. You'll notice that the CLA went wacky doodle, and it went way over into outside the border. So I'm going to go back to Format Cells, and I'm going to click Wrap Text. It doesn't say to do that in the assignment, but I did it just for fun because I don't like those lines that just drip over. And so that's how you do that. You do Wrap Text. The other assignment is that I need to do cell fill, and cell fill in Excel is exactly the same as it is in Word. Let's just double check the assignment. You'll see that you can make, I think it's the second one from the bottom. It says you can make your schedule easier to read by color coding some of the classes. So I'm going to go to my cybersecurity class, and I want to fill this in. And so let me select that class, and I'm going to fill it in with kind of a blue because I feel peaceful about cybersecurity in that class. So I leave it like that. So that's a cell fill. If I want to put in additional cell fills because I just want to make it look pretty, I can do that. I can change it to all sorts of colors. You noticed in our example, her was just full of colors, and it's a lot of fun if you have time to do that. You can also put all sorts of borders and shades and fancy stuff, shadows around the edges of your table. The only other thing that we need to talk about is how do we do the categorization. So I want to just do kind of a, I don't know, a quickie here by putting in the category. So let me call this categories, and let's just pretend that I had category. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Category was class, study time. I'm just going by the 5 that I'd recommended. Travel, commuting. Let's put it commuting. I think it says travel, but we'll say commuting. Eating and drinking, sleeping, body maintenance. How's that? Body wellness. That's just my category. And was there one other? I think work. Okay, so I'm going to, let's make this also column width of 15. That's good there. And I'm going to underline this one because well, you know what? Let's just go and do the very same thing we did before by putting all borders. And I need to select what I want to have covered by all those borders. So we'll do this. Oh, but you know what? I'm going to have hours spent so that I can do my categorization. So let's make this one 15 hours too. Not 15 hours, 15 pixels or 15 widths. And I'm going to make these a different font. So why don't I do this? I could make it a font like that. You see how when I click on the upper arrow, or not the upper arrow, but the larger A with the arrow pointing upwards, that I can increase the font without going over here and changing it. So that's 14. I'll bold it. And then I'm going to select this whole kit and caboodle and go in and do all borders again, because that's just a simple way of doing it. And so I'll make up hours 9 and 6 and 3, because of COVID, who drives as much as they used to. Body wellness, sleep, let's say, I don't know, 20 for the week. And then work, about 70. It's all for you. And now I'm going to total this up. And probably did you see how the table included that, by the way? So I'm going to bold this little guy here. I'm going to go up to the formula column and I'm going to hit bold. And that will have bolded on its own. I want to show you something about just the easiest way of doing a formula, and I'll take it, but I really hope you spend time with your Excel formulas. You do an auto sum. You see auto sum up here at the top. So I'm going to select the top numeric value, and this has to be all values of numbers. Now you can have mixture of alphabet and numbers and still do the formula work, but you need to think about or read about that a little bit more, and it's beyond what I need to show you today. I'm just going to go back down and I'm going to leave an empty cell and hit auto sum, and then I'll have the total number of hours that were spent that week. You'll notice that these did not get included in a border, but I want to make it neat, so I'm going to do all borders again here, and I could do that in numbers of ways. So then the very last thing to do is to write in my analysis of the week. And I'm curious if I can merge all these cells at once. So let's see if I can. And I can. So the analysis of my week shows I only go to class. Yeah, we're gonna work on this thing that just happened here for a minute, for a few minutes or a few hours a week. All right, of course, I'm only doing this to explain or show certain things. So I'm going to go back into format cells, and I'm going to go back down to wrap text under alignment. And you can see I made it happen. If I want to, I can also fill this entire bucket with some nice little unobtrusive, I don't know. I like to have the colors. So let's try another way of making some color on this page. And that, my friends, is the example of how to do this assignment. Hope it helped. If you have any questions, let me know. This was the weekly timetable. Thanks. Lesson 5. Good luck. Call me if you need me. Email me. Bye.